Not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Did you happen to see over the weekend? I just saw this as I was doing show prep this morning. The CNN, the most trusted name in news. It gets me every time when I say that. But CNN did an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, who I don't know if she's found the border yet or not. In fact, I think I saw she was going to the Canadian border before she even considers going to the Mexican border. So she may still need a map. I don't know. Maybe she could ask Siri how to find it. But nonetheless, she was on CNN socially distanced with, I guess it was Dana Bash, about, I don't know, we're closing in on 20 feet or so now. I mean, it almost looked like the distance between the two of those folks was the distance for the world's long jump record or some such thing. Anyway, found that rather humorous this morning. Welcome to the program. I am your host, Todd Huff. You can email me your thoughts, your questions, your feedback. Yes, I'll even accept adoration and praise. Todd at ToddHuffShow.com. And we are streaming this morning on, well, presumably, as long as our friends at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube allow that to be the case, we're streaming the program live and always at ToddHuffShow.com. So it's good to be here. Thank you for joining us. I ask you to download the podcast. If you're not able to listen to this entire program, that's okay. You can get it as a podcast totally free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Todd Huff Show is the name of the show. Just search for that, and there you go. So I want to start today by talking about the next phase of the, I guess you could say the fallout or the consequences or the next steps following the Derek Chauvin trial and verdict. Now, you would think that folks who had been clamoring for the guilt of Derek Chauvin from the beginning would be content with this. They are not. In fact, Patrisse Cullors, who is a self-proclaimed Marxist, she's a Marxist. For those who may not know what that is a communist. She believes that the state should be in control of everything and that the individual is the servant of the state and that people who are elected to be in power are basically our lords and that our government is our God. That is what communism is. Communism is a destructive, evil force on planet Earth, killing millions upon millions. In fact, the 20th century alone, I don't want to lay the death total completely at the feet of simply communism, but largely communism killed upwards of 100 million people in the 20th century. That's the 1900s again. If we have a leftist tuning in, I'm just playing. You're welcome to listen to this program, and we can probably be friends if you're open to that. If you're a leftist here with us this morning, I welcome it. We will have a little fun from time to time. Take it easy. It's all not personal. Just having some fun. Make fun of myself as well. But anyway, this ideology is what Patrisse Cullors, who's one of the three founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, is what she embraces. She's a trained Marxist, is what she said. Do not ever, ever forget that. And the reason you should never, ever forget that is because of the strategies implemented and employed by those in the Marxist movement. You talk about a group that is engaged in pure propaganda. It is groups that are Marxist. In fact, you can go back and you can Google some of the Soviet, well, maybe you should DuckDuckGo it, because I don't know what Google will scrub from existence. But you can go back and you can go to DuckDuckGo or some other search engine that you have more confidence in than Google, and you can look and you can see things that the Soviets, the communist Soviets, and the Soviet Union back during the Cold War, some of the tactics and strategies, the long game, if you will, that they were engaged in or focused on in an effort to basically make the United States weaker, to tear us apart, because it was the United States of America back in the day, back when I was a kid. It was really good versus evil, right? Reagan, the evil empire. The Soviet Union was the evil empire, and that it was, folks. That it was. There was no freedom. There was really no individual. The government was God. There wasn't even God. They wouldn't allow there to be God. Of course, there is God. There's nothing, turns out, you can do to stop that, despite their objections. There's nothing you can do to stop that. But nonetheless, we have the Soviet Union, who was the evil empire. The evil empire. They viewed people as really parts. You're only part of the whole. The individual really does not matter. People's dreams, ambitions, preferences, wants, desires matter zero to a communist, because it's only about the greater good, which I'm not against the greater good. The problem is the means by which we get there. See, when you're in a free society, like the United States of America still sometimes is, when you're in a free society, there's a concept that was coined by Adam Smith in the free markets, talking about the invisible hand. The invisible hand that basically guides all of us towards working together in some fashion that makes it beneficial for everyone, for the greater good. You've heard the phrase, a rising tide raises all ships. And that is based upon that concept. People acting in their own self-interests, not selfishness, which is a different thing. This is not at the expense of someone else. This is simply focusing on what I need to be doing, what is best for me, my business, my family. Finding ways in which we can cooperate freely turns out to be a much, much, much better way to achieve this. You're no longer managing limited resources. In free markets, you actually have more resources, and you see more people becoming wealthy. You see more people who are able to, say, move up in, I don't like to look at life this way, but some people do, but to move up from different socioeconomic groups. So you're in the whatever class they want to classify you as, and because of free market economics and because of your ability to do things that you desire to do, think will work, providing a solution to the market, whatever, you can actually jump ahead multiple. You can jump multiple socioeconomic classes in your lifetime. In fact, it's common for people to move back and forth between different ones. That doesn't happen in communist nations like the Soviet Union was. In fact, you're locked into where you are. And if you're at the top, your job is to basically live in luxury while you place your boot on the necks of whatever you can get out of the economy. And less is produced because there's less and less reasons to work hard. There's no incentive to be productive, to be to express or to bring to the market ingenuity. It's simply survival. Unless, again, you're at the top and you are taking enough to where you can live in palaces. And there's actually a starker contrast between the haves and the have-nots, because the haves are the ones that are in positions of power, taking by force, by intimidation, by fear, by removing liberty from those in society. This is what Marxism is. This is what Patrice Cullors, one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, who, by the way, now has at least $1.3 million home, which, again, I don't care. But don't tell me you're a Marxist. And I never played this, but she actually had some explanation. I'll have to look that up, and time permitting, we might get to that. But she said, well, I have money now, but I think about my family. right? So it's not just mine, it's my family's. Well, wait a second. That's not what communism is. Communism is that it's ours too. Patrice, why don't you cough it up over here? Hotshot, have things changed a little bit? No, it's human nature. This is what happens every time. To a communist, what's theirs is theirs, and what's yours is theirs also. It's the way that it works. That's why the radical left, lovers of big government, they love to tell other people what to do with their money. They do. In fact, Mitt Romney said this back. One of the things I really cheered for Romney about back in 2012 when he ran for president against Barack Obama, he said something to the effect of more Americans are concerned with what we do with America's money than what I do with ours, or some such thing, or what I do with mine, some such thing, right? And that's the way we should be. It's his money is his money. Government's money is our money. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the trillions we're spending here and there to do things that can never be accomplished this side of heaven. How about that? Anyway, Patrisse Cullors, she's out there. She's a trained Marxist. She's a propagandist. She's one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. Not happy, really, with the Chauvin verdict. I mean, yeah, it's the right thing, she says, but now it just ceases to point out what is wrong with our system of justice, and she's now calling herself an abolitionist. Now, you may think an abolitionist is someone like Abraham Lincoln back in the 1860s when America fought to stop slavery, right? You might think that. But see, she takes that very politically charged word, a word that has significance in American history, for slavery. She's saying, look, we're still dealing with systemic racism in our criminal justice system, she says. And so she's ready to abolish it, whatever the world that means. Abolish the criminal justice system. She's ready for that. That's the next thing. The radical stuff never stops coming. Pays too well, my friends. It pays too well. The radical things just keep on a-coming, and they will keep coming. There is no stop to this. It serves a couple of purposes. One of the primary purposes is it serves to move the argument in their direction. So you hear the average person says, can we find some common ground? Well, the leftist says, sure, we'll find common ground. How about I move my argument 5,000 miles to the left so that what I've done is I've moved the middle ground. If the conservative stays fixed in his position where he thinks is correct, and I'm going to take mine about 9,000,000% further from what I think is legitimate, past the mark, so far I can't even see it. Suddenly, it makes the position I originally intended to achieve the middle ground, because I'm so far off the path of reality that the middle becomes my fringe beliefs to begin with. And there we go. And that's what's happening here. The abolition of the criminal justice system. Remember last year we were talking about defunding police? You still hear echoes of that. Defunding police. Have you seen the number of police departments now that are having trouble finding officers? What a shock, by the way. Who could have possibly predicted this being the case? I wonder what the consequences of the abolition of our criminal justice system. What will those consequences be? We're about to find out, because that's the next thing on the docket for the radical left. That and climate change, which the Project Veritas expose of CNN has shown us, and now CNN dutifully moving right along, planning their climate change summit, talking about the impending climate change crisis, and we're in an emergency situation, and we've got to act today, just like we did with COVID, which don't think they're not going to politically try to benefit from that as well. But anyway, lots of things to get to. But I want to play when we get back. I want to play a little bit of what Patrisse Cullors said on Instagram, and I want you to hear her words, and I want you to understand what we're dealing with when it comes to the real war on these American institutions, packing the court, abolition of our criminal justice system, right? Any piece of voting legislation that serves to prevent against voter fraud is termed voter oppression laws. Anyway, timeout's in order. Come back and discuss those things on the other side of the break. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, Care to Change, and Interior Construction Services by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
Know someone looking for a fun summer job? We're now hiring lifeguards around the Indianapolis area. Make a difference while meeting new people, build your teamwork skills, and spend time outdoors. We offer lifeguard certification classes. To find out more, go to indianapolis-pmg.com and choose the lifeguarding menu option. That's indianapolis-pmg.com.
Welcome back, my concerns? You concerned about your investments? Intrepid is always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. They've been helping Hoosiers since 1998. Family owned and operated. Intrepid Financial. You can find out more by visiting their website, intrepidfinancial.com, or call them 317-818-1776. Nothing wrong with that number, right? 317-818-1776. Intrepid Financial. Be sure to tell them that Todd and the Todd Huff Show sent you. So, before the break, I referenced this moronic, I guess, it's not a rant. I mean, she's Patrice Cullors here, Black Lives Matter, talking about the abolition of the criminal justice system. It's the latest in the series of next steps that this nation is supposed to take if you follow the advice, the instruction of the Marxist and the extreme radical left in this country today. So this is a couple minutes long. I'm going to play some of it. I want you to hear what she's calling for and understand that this is what. See, a lot of folks just hear the stories. They see the news. They see the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting in the news, somewhere online, what have you, and they hear the arguing that goes on back and forth. And I've got some humdingers of some things that Joy Reid from MSNBC has said about the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting. But there's the back and forth, and there's the trial, the Derek Chauvin trial, and the average person says, okay, this is what happened. The jury has, which that's a whole nother thing that I want to get to, time permitting, as well today. You now see that the jury, one of the jury alternates, who an alternate of the jury sits through the whole trial, and they're there in case a juror has to be removed for whatever reason. They don't have to start over. But the alternate mentioned the fear of riots in their community, their city, as part of the thought process factoring through her mind. Who the alternate also said she would have found Derek Chauvin guilty if she was a voting member of the jury. But now we're no longer speculating whether or not, well, she's an alternate, so we don't have an actual juror that's come out yet, to my knowledge, and said, hey, I was impacted by the fear of riots or what have you in my decision. That is 100% unacceptable. I'm not saying it's not understandable, but it's unacceptable in a free society, in a society that has the rule of law. Those have nothing to do with whether or not Derek Chauvin was guilty of the alleged crimes that he's been charged with, that he was actually convicted of. So anyway, I got that out there too. But let's listen to Patrice Cullors here. This is a video from Instagram. She's now calling again, as I said, for the abolition of our criminal justice system.
Hey y'all, this Daily Digest, I want to talk about the verdict, and I want to talk about abolition. So for an abolitionist, the question is always, is a guilty verdict for a cop an actually abolitionist act? Is this something that we should be celebrating? And I'll say this, as an organizer, as someone who has community organized all my life, you go with what the people want. You give them what you want. You give them the victory. A guilty cop was convicted of all the charges, was convicted of murder. We don't see that often. We rarely see this. It's not a sign that our criminal justice system is working. It's actually a sign that it's broken.
There you go. It's not a sign. The verdict is not a sign that the criminal justice system is working. No. It's a sign that it is broken. It is a sign that it is broken, because as she goes on to tell us, real justice, if we had real justice in our system, then George Floyd and now Ma'Khia Bryant, as she references as well in this video, would both be alive today. I don't know. Again, I know we've talked about it on here. The Ma'Khia Bryant video, she was literally in the process of trying to stab another girl somewhere in the head, neck, face area. She was in the process. She brought a knife. First of all, she had a knife. She had it drawn. She pulled the knife back as far as she basically could, basically 180 degrees behind her. If you can imagine, just, pulling your arm back as far as you can with the knife, and then beginning the process to swing it again at the head, neck, face area of another woman. That's what she was doing when the officer fired. The same officer that LeBron James doxed, exposed, identified on Twitter and threatened him. LeBron James is out there threatening to, come after this officer. You're next. Hashtag accountability. The officer was there. I said 9 seconds. I had read 9 seconds from the time he got out of his car until the time he was firing whatever it was, 3 or 4 shots into Ma'Khia Bryant as she was trying to stab. In her own words, her last words before she was shot, as far as I could tell from the video, was something to the effect of, "I'm going to blanking stab you, you blank." Maybe even kill you, stab and kill you, something like that. I can look during the break. So she comes out clearly with intent, clearly, knocking people around, and then turns on another girl to stab her with the intent of, she said, to kill her, I believe. I'll have to look it up. At least to stab her. And the place she was trying to stab her was in the head and neck area. The officer was there for roughly 10 seconds. From the time he got out of his cruiser, shut the door, and saw, Ma'Khia, it looked like, knock one girl down. He was distracted. He looked up, saw her charging at another girl, was yelling at her. She did not listen, and he shot her to prevent the death or severe injury to another girl, someone that would have actually been a victim here, not someone who was in the middle of trying to commit a heinous crime. And so now we're on to this one as well. So LeBron James docks the officer, letting everyone know who he is and saying, "Hey, we're coming after you next." It was on the very day that Derek Chauvin was found guilty. You're up next, buddy boy, basically is what LeBron James is saying. Of course, LeBron James may have seen NBC's video. NBC, when they first aired clips of this, they edited out the part that showed Ma'Khia Bryant with a knife. Turns out that may have been a pretty relevant factor to what happened. Can you see how all this works together? You've got a deceitful media. You've got radicals here calling for the abolition of the criminal justice system. And now they're saying that true justice means that they would not be, George Floyd or Ma'Khia Bryant would not be dead. And so we have to abolish our criminal justice system. Now, in the case of Ma'Khia Bryant, I don't know what Patrisse Cullors wants to have had happen there. I don't know what in the world she thinks could have happened. Derek Chauvin clearly, in the George Floyd death, Derek Chauvin clearly played a role in that. Whether or not I know some people are, hey, this guy really wasn't guilty. Other people say he was, of something in between, whatever the case may be. But there's a role that he played in, at least arguably, right? Some people say, well, it was drugs, but then the medical evidence doesn't seem to suggest that. All that sort of stuff. But in this case with Ma'Khia Bryant, it is very cut and dry. Very, very cut and dry. So the only thing she says, Patrisse Cullors, that can really, I guess, remedy what we're seeing in these cases is the complete abolition of the criminal justice system. I don't know what she would implement as in the void that she would create. I don't know if she would just put it on the honor system and tell people to behave better. What would a trained Marxist implement in the streets of the United States of America today should she completely abolish the criminal justice system. So this is what the cries are for. This is, you're going to begin to hear some of this as well. This is moving it further and further to the left so that some of their leftist ideas to begin with don't sound so crazy when contrasted and compared with something like abolish the criminal justice system or defund the police. Quick timeout is in order here. Gotta take a break, come back and continue our discussion. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, call my good friend Scott Veerkamp. Scott and his team have been helping people with their real estate needs since 1992, and he has sold literally thousands of homes for good families just like yours. For all your real estate needs, call Scott Veerkamp today at 317-979-4663. That's 979-HOME.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Are you looking to purchase waterproof flooring for your home? Did you know it's as easy as typing rnrproducts.com/Todd in your search engine for a great deal on our core tech line? Since 1971, R&R Products has provided brand name products at an affordable price to the listening area. Call 317-745-5794 or go online to rnrproducts.com/Todd. R&R Products. We make your flooring experience easy and affordable.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit indydentalsleep.com. Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals. Flooded basement, failed sump pump. Water damage happens fast this time of year. For 38 years now, Hayes & Sons has been restoring water damage in Indiana homes and businesses. They'll help you navigate your insurance claim and get your life back on track. So when a water disaster strikes, tell your insurance agent you want Hayes & Sons for your restoration work. Visit hayesandsons.com/Todd for more information. Welcome back. I want to make sure that I am absolutely correct in my, I guess I'll say reporting, not a journalist, telling you what I think about this crazy stuff happening out there. But I want to make sure I get it correct. The last words that were heard on the video, the Micaiah Bryant, again, this is the 16-year-old girl shot in Columbus, Ohio for what appears to be clearly her attempt to stab, seriously injure, or possibly kill another female. The last words that were caught on the video as she was screaming coming out of the house and going after the girl were, "I'm going to stab the blank out of you, blank." I wasn't sure if it said the word kill, but it says stab the blank out of you, blank. And she was swinging the knife toward the, again, head, face, neck area. So it is with that in mind that I want to listen to this. You know, if you want to listen to pure insanity and craziness, just watch clips of MSNBC's Joy Reid. Now, I may have had you, I made it, it's a little redundant when I said crazy, MSNBC and Joy Reid. Those are all synonyms in the world of crazy. I understand. But the things that she says in her program, they're utterly insane a good portion of the time. But this is considered logical and reasonable to the radical left. Here she is basically saying, hey, why can't we just let kids have knife fights? Let's see what the big deal is. We had them in high school. My teachers broke them up. They didn't need a gun. That's what she says here. Again, just look at the video. The video speaks 100% for itself. It is tragic. It is terrible. But the things that we have to listen to and the things that we have to discuss in the wake of these things is sometimes just beyond even remotely rational. Listen to this. This is Joy Reid on her program. I think over right before the week, maybe last week, end of last week. Here you go. Come on, Joy. I swear I just played this thing, and now it is. This happens repeatedly here. Hold on here. Let me do this again. Here we go.
I mean, this is going to go down the way most of these shooting cases go down because police have tremendous latitude to use deadly force. Fine. But the problem is, at this point, everything police say to me is just a claim that needs to be proven. Even if unless there's full accounting, they won't tell us who made the 911 call. Neighbors say that the little girl, that Micaiah made the 911 call. They aren't telling us that. They aren't being fully transparent here. That's why it's very difficult to trust what they're saying. So as you look at the circumstances of this, can you just walk us through how police should act in a case like this? Because, I was saying on my Instagram earlier, I remember fights in even high school or even younger than that, where a kid brought a penknife or something to school and teachers were able to defuse that and they didn't have guns. So
there you go. Maybe we should disarm the police as well. I don't want to give them any ideas here, so I'm sure that they'll be clamoring for that as well. Maybe there should have been, what do we want? We want social workers out there. Would a social worker have been able to defuse the situation? How? The amount of ignorance into human nature and when you see something evil being perpetrated, someone about to be stabbed, what do you think you're going to do about this? Joy Reid, MSNBC. What do you think you're going to do about this? Have a nice, peaceful conversation. When I was in college, I literally had a professor, kid you not, who says he was a complete pacifist, to the point where a student asked him, so what would you do if you came home and your wife was being violently attacked? He literally told us, I am not making this up, an educated man said he would sit and talk with and reason with the person perpetrating the violence. What? How? How is that? As though that's some sort of a noble thing. As you're in this analogy, in this hypothetical, his wife was being violently attacked by somebody. He was going to take the high road and reason with the man. idiotic. Truly idiotic. And the amount of reality one has to ignore and refuse to accept to come to that conclusion it would take me months of explaining on this program to get to the point where someone would say that is a logical conclusion. And this guy thought he was really smart and had the moral high ground because of his insistence on being a complete pacifist. Sometimes, folks, newsflash to folks who don't seem, and this isn't you, but to people out there who don't seem to understand the violence and evil exists, sometimes the absolute just thing to do is to employ whatever means is necessary to stop someone else from suffering the harm of an injustice, of an evil. Some folks just refuse to accept that. Anyway, they refuse to accept reality on a lot of levels. Joy Reid may be leading the pack on that. I got to take a break. Quick timeout. Be back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com, and remember folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats, Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com. Welcome back. Here's something else to keep your eye on, if you haven't been doing so, is just to keep in the back of your mind this election audit in the state of Arizona, Maricopa County in particular. That is something that is moving forward, and there's some of these things around the country, but just keep an eye on this stuff as the results of the audits hopefully eventually come in. But I want to talk about something here today that I mentioned last week. I know many of you have children or grandchildren, and I mentioned a piece that was written on a cartoon, or written in, I should say, an ABC, a news report about a cartoon, Bluey. My kids watch Bluey. Bluey's about a family of cartoon dogs who live, I think, in Australia. I think it's Australia. And it's a family of 4, I think they're blue heelers. And so 2 of them are blue and 2 of them are tan/brown. And this is what a journalist, if it's a journalist or an editorialist, I mean, in today's world at places like ABC, it's the same thing. There's not any journalists anymore. There's a couple out there that care about reporting and not inserting themselves and their opinions into pieces. But listen to this. My Bluey struggle. This is what she writes. Representation. I understand that for the most part, Bluey's creators don't view their show through a political lens. Well, that might be naive in today's world, but nonetheless, I'm aware that this may come across as asking too much of a show that's already so tender, nuanced, and joyful. But it's exactly because Bluey has demonstrated depth and range that I can't help asking anyway. My question is this: can Bluey be more representative? And yes, I'm aware that Bluey's border collie pal Mackenzie is from New Zealand. As a parent of color, I am always conscious of the presence or absence of diverse representation in kids' pop culture, what it means for children, and the conversations we have around that. I sincerely believe you don't have to be other, in quotes, to think about this too. We live in a world where the majority of main characters on children's television are white, where there are more animals than people of color, protagonists populating the pages of children's books, where there are disabled, queer, poor, gender diverse, where are the disabled, gender, queer, poor, gender diverse, dogs of color, and single-parent dog families in Bluey's Brisbane. If they're in the background, let them come forward. Maynard, that doesn't matter. Anyway, so she's out there clamoring for more dogs of color, and their dogs are literally blue. The dogs are blue. The dogs are a cartoon. This has nothing to do with anything that's remotely close. I don't know. How does she know that they're even white? What did they say this? I mean, I don't watch the program that closely. They're dogs. On top of that, they're cartoon dogs. We've gotten to the point, and this goes back to the silly nonsense that Patrice Cullors was saying saying earlier, and I played on the program today. But logic has seemed to have left the building. And these things become hip, and this becomes, these folks become the trailblazers on these issues because they write and say stuff like this. What on earth does it mean to have less white cartoon dogs? What on earth are we talking about in society today? Gotta take a break. Back here in just a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. With so many societal changes, everyone's talking about apprenticeships and college debt. Businesses seek employees with practical problem-solving skills. Visit apprentice.university to learn about our demanding academics and paid apprenticeships in excess of tuition. No debt, in-demand skills, Christian community.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in Central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Haven't filed your taxes yet? You're in luck. But time is running out, so you need to act now. In the ongoing effort dealing with the pandemic, the IRS has officially extended the tax filing deadline to May 17th instead of April 15th. Tax payments can also be deferred until May 17th without any penalties and interest. With all of the changing regulations for the stimulus checks, PPP loans, mortgage forgiveness, and other changes with the COVID relief bills, this is the year to make sure you have everything covered. Midwest Tax Group is your local expert in everything taxes. 317-288-5260. They've been serving the Indianapolis area for over 10 years. They complete most tax returns within a week and will get you every penny you deserve. 317-288-5260. Can't come into one of their 4 office locations? Or prefer contact-free meetings and document preparation? Midwest Tax Group makes it easy to submit all of the necessary information without ever coming in person. Visit them online at mwtaxgroup.com for more information.
Welcome back. So, one of the things, and I got to wrap up here quickly, but one of the things that I think the things we talked about today should highlight is the need for people with sense to speak up. The need for people with sense, look, there's ways to do it, and there's ways to do it more effectively, and you don't always have to stage a fight, but when the only people talking or the people with the loudest voices seem to be saying the craziest, most ridiculous things, that's going to be the way things go unless someone steps in and says, look, I'm sorry to be the bearer of the bad news here, but here in reality, what you're proposing doesn't work, Patrice Kohlers. What you're talking about here doesn't work with defunding the police, abolishing our criminal justice system, all these sorts of things. We need to see more of that in our society today. And I've got to go. Thank you so much for listening. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Ford Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corn Homes, family owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.